Good Thursday morning. I am meteorologist Johnny Lively to do our Thursday morning update that is brought to you and sponsored by HB Neal. Not much going on radar here in southeast Texas. Actually, we're seeing it more towards Lafayette, Louisiana, down to Abbeville. That's where all the shower and thunderstorm activity is this morning. But overnight, you can see the last 6 hours on satellite and radar imagery. It's been pretty quiet across the state of Texas, even Louisiana. We're just now starting to see that activity push more towards Lafayette. Current temperatures: Huntsville at 74, Beaumont at 75, Houston at 77, Galveston at 83, Lake Charles at 74. So we're anywhere from the 70s down to the coast into the 80s. Our next weather maker, it's kind of a really a big balance between do you have moisture and how much dry air do you have. You've got that Saharan dust pushing in, so it's a battle of moisture versus dry air. Today we've got that moisture. Friday, a lot more dry air pushing in, so our coverage of rain is going to drop down on Friday just to possibly 30% coverage. And as we get into this weekend, notice the moisture content starts pushing back in, but we still have some of that dry air. So rain coverage is still there on Saturday, but should still continue to be more on the less side, 40 to 50% coverage, because again, it's a battle of moisture versus dry air. We put some of this in motion this morning. You can see it's active over there towards the Louisiana side from Lafayette to Abbeville, just east of Lake Charles. Not much going on in southeast Texas this morning. A little bit later this morning, Cameron Parish should start getting a little bit more active. It's not until around 3, 4, 5 p.m. that we could see some isolated storms, probably 30% coverage from the Woodlands to Liberty to Beaumont and parts of the Lakes region. We'll start seeing a little bit of our activity, but we're starting to see that dry air is starting to take over a little bit. So it's kind of a balance between how much moisture do you have to get those showers and storms or not. Friday morning, notice just a couple isolated storms there, maybe about a 5 to 10% coverage, if that. As we get into the afternoon hours, we continue to see very isolated, very spotty. 20% coverage is expected in southeast Texas, even into parts of southwest Louisiana as well too. So as we take a look at our high temperatures today, we'll be into the low to possibly mid 90s. Heat index will be really the biggest thing. That heat index will go anywhere from 100 to 103 degrees, so keep that in the back of your mind. The overnight lows tonight into tomorrow morning will be anywhere from the upper 70s down to the coast will be into the 80s. And again, the high temperatures, very similar to what we're seeing today, will be into the low to mid 90s all across the region. Watching the tropics, not much to watch, thank goodness. That's what we want to hear this time of year. Tropical Atlantic, the Caribbean, the Gulf, nothing is expected the next 7 days. Now, as we look on satellite imagery, a lot of dry airs just kind of dominate this region. We're not seeing any shower and thunderstorm activity. Now, we do have a little bit towards Cuba. It might have a little bit of spin, but again, the dry air and the wind shear is not going to allow this to get going. And as we swing over here into the Gulf, nothing going on in the satellite. Very calm. And the biggest culprit for that is the Saharan dust. Big round moving in today. You can see as we get into the weekend, starts pushing out. We thin out a little bit, but look at that big round that's coming into parts of the Caribbean, really getting into Cuba. That's going to get into the Gulf early next week and then starts getting closer to our region, possibly mid to end of next week. So another big round of dust is on the way. This keeps the tropics really at bay. Our 7-day forecast, 40% coverage here in southeast Texas from Houston to Beaumont. Goes down a little bit on Friday, 30% coverage. This weekend, we're keeping at least 40% coverage. But next week, little less coverage. That means the clouds push out. We lose our, chance to keep the temperatures into the low 90s. We'll start seeing those temperatures get into the mid to possibly upper 90s as we get into next week. Southwest Louisiana, 50% coverage today. This weekend, 50 to 40%. Next week, a little bit of a drying trend. We'll have very isolated showers. Temperatures go from 92 degrees to 94, and then on Wednesday at 95. So that's the end of our Thursday video. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll have more posts throughout the day. Don't forget to watch our 24/7 page. You can see all of our graphics and our latest forecasts there. You guys have a wonderful Thursday, and thank y'all so much for tuning in.